New York City has its first Muslim and first socialist mayor. 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani defeated both former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo and Republican Curtis Sliwa. 2 million New Yorkers cast their vote, the largest turnout for a mayoral race since 1969. Despite concerns by some that Mamdani's anti-policing and tax-the-rich platform would drive businesses from America's largest city, he's officially taking a victory lap. But now comes the hard part, actually governing. Will New Yorkers get free buses and subsidized groceries paid for with huge tax increases on the rich? We shall see. Across the Hudson River to another closely watched race. In New Jersey, Democrat Mikey Sherrill beat her Republican rival Jack Ciattarelli, even with polls tightening to a razor-sharp margin as Election Day approached. She made her campaign a vote against President Trump, which resonated with enough voters to make her the first female Democrat to lead the Garden State. And in another statewide race with national interest, Democrat Abigail Spanberger bested Republican Winsome Earl Sears to win the governor's seat in Virginia. She's the first woman governor of the Commonwealth. Also in the Old Dominion, the much talked about Attorney General's race was won by Democrat Jay Jones. You remember this guy. He was elected despite a series of controversial texts where he fantasized about violence toward his Republican rivals back in 2022. The friendly skies are not so friendly these days with the government shutdown. Heavy delays, cancellations, full-on ground stops. And if you ask Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy about whether there's a light at the end of the tunnel, the answer is this.
If you bring us to a week from today, Democrats, you will see mass chaos, you will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers.
The reason? By this time next week, air traffic controllers will have missed a second paycheck. Duffy says many just can't make ends meet, saying they've taken to waiting tables or driving Ubers while they wait for the shutdown to end. And pressure has been mounting from unions and airline leaders for Democrats to end the standoff after many U.S. airports have all but ground to a screeching halt due to the toll the shutdown is taking on overworked and underpaid air traffic controllers. Now, the air traffic controller situation was already pretty bad going into the shutdown, but now about 13,000 of them are working without paychecks, and the FAA says 50% of air traffic facilities are understaffed. By now, you've heard that former Vice President Dick Cheney died at the age of 84. His family revealing yesterday morning he passed away due to complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. But as of Tuesday night, President Trump had failed to comment on Cheney's death, though Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt offered this.
I know the president is aware of the former vice president's passing, and as you saw, flags have been lowered to half staff in accordance with statutory law.
In accordance with statutory law? Not exactly warm and fuzzy there, though perhaps it's not all that surprising. One of Cheney's last public appearances about 3 years ago was in support of his daughter, Liz, as she delivered a blistering speech aimed at Trump and his supporters. President George W. Bush, with whom Cheney served, called him a, quote, calm and steady presence in the White House amid great national challenges, and said his death was a loss to the nation. For more on this story and everything else you could possibly want to know, check out the New York Post in print or online. And don't forget, like and subscribe to the New York POSTcast wherever you get your podcasts, and on YouTube. You'll be glad you did.